Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning to you all, and Honorable Minister, Rector, the Dean and Chairperson of the conference, and distinguished keynote speakers, honorable guest and participant, and good morning to you all. And I think I quite agree with the Honorable Minister. You have already touched on some of my topics. So, but I'll start looking at the things we need to be looked at when we talk about Sustainable Development Goals, Industrial Revolution 4, and the higher education sector. And as you can see, I represent Trobe Business School, and we have a big slogan there, all kinds of clever. This is our strategy as the international business school, that you have to be clever in all kinds. It's not about that, okay, you have expertise in one sector, you don't know about any other sector. So all kinds of clever is our slogan. And so we develop our curriculum looking at various issues in the industry, various society, so that students can understand everything surrounding their education and surrounding the environment. So as you can see, the title of my presentation has three aspects: Sustainable Development Goals, Industrial Revolution 4, and their impact on the economic society as a whole. Let me start with introducing you. I think I know that we are aware of what is Industrial Revolution 4. I think it's because this is my context and for the whole talking. So it's a kind of, we are now in the Industrial Revolution 4, where we're talking about, as I said before, cloud accounting, cloud computing, and digital disruptions. It's all about big data nowadays. And I will show you the various stages of Industrial Revolution. And it's all about doing everything now invisibly. Because nowadays you don't have to have an office to do things. And maybe in the future we don't need any classroom. I just like to, it's very relevant. At Trobe University, when I was the head of department for the last 3.5 years, and for accounting degrees, we don't deliver any traditional lecture anymore. So we get rid of traditional 2-hour lecture. So we used to have 2-hour lecture, 1-hour tutorial. And so we don't have any traditional lecture. What we have workshops. So we have everything online. We record our lectures, and students are supposed to be coming to the class after listening and watching our video lecture, and then we discuss what we already have online. So as you can see, so what we call is flipped classroom. Yes, so it's the change. And some students, they don't like traditional lecture because it's boring, 2 hours, without any interactive sessions. And we have also reduced our class size. We used to have a lecture for 300, 400. Now we have a 40 only. In one workshop, we have 40 students. So you can see it has huge impact on the university sector, Industrial Revolution 4. So what we really, second slides, as you can see, that I'll be talking about a number of issues. What Industry 4 can do for SDGs is very important. And how Industry 4 affects the achievement of SDGs goals to have a better economic society. I think it's very ambitious, how we can define better economic society, and how they impact the higher education sector. And also, because my background is accounting, I'll be talking about how they affect accounting, education, and professions. Let me show you the industrial revolutions we had so far. As you can see, the first industrial revolutions, we had mechanizations through water and steam power. Think about traditional railway engine. We had steam engines and so on. So it was a kind of mechanical environment. And then we have mass productions and assembly lines powered by electricity. Think about the manufacturing of cars. And now we have the third industrial revolutions. We have computerizations and automations, and people talk about automated factory. Now we are in a smart environment, and that we have a smart factories. As you can see, we have cloud computing and cognitive computing. Cognitive computing is very important. We have to study human behavior and how computer can study human behavior, and then and the robots can study people's mind. So we need to, when you talk about human capital, we need to understand what people think about a particular issue. So we have to have that side of culture. So just to give you a brief background to Industrial Revolution 1, as you can see that the traditional was that, okay, people have a skilled manpower making goods by hand. It's like our traditional handlooms and other factories. Now it goes to traditional water-generated steam engines. The second industrial revolutions, as you can see, we have a 1913 Ford manufacturing automobiles. They use assembly line to put together all suppers for creating or manufacturing a car. And next, Industrial Revolution 3, as you can see, automated car factory and robotics, and we have in our environments computer manufacturing machines and computer control machines, so robots and other computing facilities monitor and control everything. What about this Industry Revolution 4? Think about in 2004, 8, and think about this industry would looks like this. So when you have a car, and then not, I think it's we will have soon driveless car. It's not far away. Maybe in 10 years' time, you don't have to drive your car, and you don't have a huge traffic here and everywhere. So what will happen that you enter into the factory and you see not many people around, all computers, and people nowadays think about nowadays what we do. We have a Skype meeting, we have a Zoom meeting, we have video conferencing, and you don't have to attend a conference physically. Maybe in the future you pay your fees, and then you have Skype or Zoom. Everything's video conferencing. This is going to happen very soon. Very interestingly, when I looked at the industrial revolutions and other things, and this is information is that okay, who started this talking? It's not very long ago that German Chancellor Angela Merkel talked about in 2015 in a forum that we need to have this kind of understanding about Industrial Revolution 4, how they can affect the society as a whole. So she introduced this idea that we need to understand how this can influence our organizations. And similarly, the United States has already developed some kind of manufacturing leadership coalition, because we talk about the collaboration. So there's already started a non-profit coalitions organizations where, as you can see, collaborative people like manufacturers, suppliers, technology firms, government agencies, and so on. So this kind of collaboration is very important, and then this is why we need to work out how they can influence the economic society as a whole.